everybody had their game that they grew up playing with their family, whether that was Go Fish, a board game. For my family, it was poker. Family functions, whether it was Christmas, whether it was birthdays, summer pool parties, 4th of July, you name it, were typically accompanied by an end of the night poker tournament, starting with me and my sister playing when we were like 8 or 9. Poker is very much a game of both skill and luck. You cannot control the individual cards that you're going to get from the deck, but there are statistical odds that you can play on, and there is strategy involved, which does allow for the most competitive and smartest person of the group to try and ride a wave out and ultimately grind all the way up to the top, which is very similar to a video game which is having their first major open tournament, similar to poker, this upcoming weekend. Teamfight Tactics is a kind of complicated game, but pretty simple on the exterior. You simply get random units that get dealt to you every single turn. You get to pick whether you want to take any of those units, but they all cost a certain value, and you try and build the best board or best hand that you can to beat the other teams. Now, you have to be aware of what the other teams could have. In TFT, you can specifically look and see what they're going and try and counter that, unlike poker, where I can't see what the other person's hand looks like. But it's very similar to cards in a way where I can't control what shows up on my board versus somebody else. At the end of the day, they can kind of be similar, but you can make different things out of them. Now the question becomes, how do you make an esport out of a game that has so much RNG and chance involved? And the answer is the World Series of Poker. The World Series of Poker is the highlight of the Texas Hold'em world, where players come in, you start with a certain amount of money, and you get put at a table. You then have to just survive and try and gather up money and eliminate people one by one by one by one. It takes days upon weeks to get through this tournament, and you have to play a lot because there is that chance of who's going to have the better hand. One might be even, the other might be better. As time goes on, it all evens itself out. So when it comes to TFT, how is this tournament going to work? How will they eliminate the randomness that comes with a RNG style game? Now, what makes the TFT Vegas Open happening this weekend different from most other esports events nowadays is in a world where franchising has taken over everything, and you have to have a $10 million slot in a league to be able to play. The TFT Vegas Open was available to literally anybody that wanted to play. Now, granted, there were ranked criteria for buying your pass. The best players in the world got the chance to buy one of those passes first, and it then filtered all the way down. So in theory, I could still be silver in TFT and play in this tournament against grandmasters if there are passes available when it comes to me, and I have the money to be able to buy the pass to go, because it does obviously cost money to enter a tournament like this, because you might win money, but in addition to that, it also costs money to put on the event, and this helps go towards that. Now, the TFT Vegas Open has hundreds of people playing in the tournament, and the way it'll work is that it'll all be lobbies of 8. You go in and you get points based on where you finish in the lobby. You play a few games, the top 4 people with the most points within that individual group or table moves on to the next round. And you keep doing that, and doing that, and doing that, until you get down to the final table, or the final group of 8, of which it's then going to be the first to a certain point threshold. First person to cross that wins it all. So while yes, there is randomness involved with the game, wow, that is something. It isn't always a given that the person with the highest unit or the best item in the game is always going to win. Even if it looks like it, you never know what could happen. Okay, not a good example. I was hoping the river would favor the 9s. Now, from a spectator point of view, do you have to know all the different combinations and units to be able to watch TFT Esports and enjoy it? No. Majority of my content here is about League of Legends, and I guarantee you people watching it for the first time who haven't really played the game, believe me, it's a lot harder to explain what's going on there than it is here. With TFT, sure, you have to get people to understand the augments and some of the strategies that you can go for, but it just takes playing it a few times, and TFT is a lot easier to pick up than League of Legends. This will be the first ever TFT esports event that I've ever watched and ever done official press for. I have no clue what kind of videos are going to come out of this tournament for me, if you're going to see anything from this weekend at all, but I want to give this esport an honest try. The thing with poker is that I don't personally enjoy watching poker on TV. The World Series of Poker is never really done much for me, but you best believe anytime I go to a casino or anytime I have a family gathering, you know exactly what we're doing. My sister, for whatever reason, is actually stupidly good at poker, or at least she has a good poker face, unlike me. I don't have the ability to hide whether I have a good card or not. Something like that happens, I automatically smile. But as I alluded to earlier, the open nature of these tournaments is just fascinating, and it's something that I personally never got to experience much with esports. Even though I love Call of Duty, in the early days of Call of Duty, like UMG South Carolina did have that open bracket into pool play style, there were not many esports events that at least I followed that were individual in nature. TFT is really going to be the first one, where if I truly wanted to, I could just go play in the event myself. And I feel like that would be one hell of a video to actually do on this channel at some point in time. Because like I said, playing tends to be better than watching, but I'm curious to see how this goes. And the thing with this event is that it could be a success even if there aren't that many people watching it.
Hey, Editor David coming in. I actually just got an email while I was filming this on the press release for the belt that actually comes with this tournament. They are fully embracing the whole poker thing, and this is what you win if you win the tournament. Obviously, you get prize pool on top of that. I think there's $100,000 on the line for this entire thing, so the money is obviously going to be great. The notoriety for winning is great itself, but this is going to be one of the few esports ever where you get the actual trophy. This isn't a replica. That belt is literally what you get. So the winner of this event could say, show up to the next tournament literally wearing their belt to defend their title and win a second. And it just, I love stuff like this. Shout out to Michael Sherman, who is the guy running everything here. He's the head of TFT Esports, Project L Esports, or whatever the fighting game is. And he's just crushing it. Like, this is everything you could ask for from like a smaller game, a smaller esports ecosystem, just grassroots to its core, open to anything that they want to try. I love what they're doing with TFT, and I cannot wait to see it this weekend.
Giving people the opportunity and a place to go and play these types of games in a setting that is just competitive for the top end, but also fun for fun for everybody else that it attends. You can make a weekend trip out of it. Take the boys to it if you want. Take the girls to it if you want. Do I ever see TFT esports becoming like the next greatest thing? No, probably not. But I could see it becoming a household style game, or at least picked up within like the gambling community, that it really does well and becomes sustainable in its own small little ecosystem. Not everything has to be as big as the World Championship for League of Legends. We don't always need dragons flying around stadiums. Sometimes you just need an event that people can go to, have fun, and enjoy themselves. And I think that's exactly what this is going to be. So whether you've played TFT before or not, maybe now's a good time to try watching. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. Maybe it will inspire you to try the game out yourself. You can literally play it on your phone right now without even having to do much. It's free. So yeah, the TFT Vegas Open is this weekend. Be sure to check it out, or if you're enjoying TFT at all right now, let me know what your favorite unit is. Personally, watching Ari one-shot frontline units is always going to be fun for me. I love the headliner mechanic, even if a lot of people don't. Anyways, that's it for me. Catch you all in the next video. Adios.